seminar, which is great because now I can be here. But it just seems this year it's the winter that just won't end. Anyway, the fact that everybody's here tells me that there must be some with aluminum wiring in their home. Can I just have a show of hands? Vehicles? Okay, majority of people. That's great because after we leave here tonight, you'll have a better understanding about aluminum wiring and what you can do to safeguard your home from any.
Scary things. So I believe that I have an obligation to inform people, to disclose to you what I see in people's homes. What you do with the information is your prerogative. Now you heard Frank earlier talk about the hundreds of homes that he has done renovations in, and so Frank and Tim were having lunch one day, and Frank says to Tim, you know, I see all kinds of scary things in people's homes. You folks must see much more than what I see. Why don't you show people some of these pictures so you can illustrate really what happens in people's homes when they have hazards and defects in their homes? And we know now that over 40% of fires are electrical in nature. However, 100% of them are preventable. And what they are is undetected defects and hazards. Right? And we are the go-to people when it comes to finding these defects and hazards. So anyway, to make a long story short, Tim said to me, John, I'm mandating you to put together a presentation and put together some pictures that we find when we do inspections in people's homes. Now we have over 20,000 of these pictures of scary things that we see in people's homes. So I'm not going to show you 20,000 pictures because we don't have time for 20,000 pictures. But what I'm going to show you is a representative slideshow of common things that we keep on seeing reoccurring in people's homes when we do our inspection. So our EHD, electrical hazard detection, or it's equivalent to an MRI that we're doing in your home, we will inspect every outlet, every switch, every plug, every fixture, the panel under load, major appliance connections, electricity outside, inside. It starts at 7:30 in the morning and it goes all day. And by the end of the day, the electrician has captured all these pictures. He's repaired anything that would constitute imminent danger, right? And he's produced all of these into a report. So
that we ask is, should I worry about my family's safety? If I have aluminum wiring in my home, should I worry about my family's safety? The short answer to that question is yes. Okay? Now, why? Homes wired with aluminum wiring are 55 times more likely to experience a fire. 55 times more likely. The beautiful thing about electricity is that it is it's a science, it's not an art. So there's a rhyme and reason for everything. Now, from time to time, especially when I visit homes and go into homes and do no-fee assessments, I do see a lot of what we refer to as handyman specialists, either by the current homeowner or by the previous homeowners. This is especially dangerous if you do have aluminum wiring. It is not handyman friendly, and I can't stress that enough. You see ROM devices going into aluminum wiring, and I'll get into the science behind why that's not the best thing to do in a moment. But again, I want to stress that aluminum wiring is not handyman friendly. If you have aluminum wiring in your home, you should have a qualified, certified electrician, electrical contractor doing the work, not you, the homeowner, if I might be so presumptuous. That being said, aluminum wiring, there's nothing wrong with it. A lot of people will come to me and say, well, should I remove all the aluminum wiring in my house? You know? The answer to that question is no. There's a maintenance involved with aluminum wiring. It doesn't exist with copper, but it doesn't mean ripping out all of the aluminum wiring in your home. The means getting it inspected and making sure that it's maintained. And the ESA, which is the Electrical Safety Authority, still is okay with having aluminum wire in one's home. So this is something that is still, it's a good conductor of electricity. What we see is that one's insurance company actually calls them once you're renewing or you want to switch insurance company. Part of the questionnaire is, do you have aluminum wiring in your house? And if you answer yes to that, that insurance company will say, well, have you had it inspected? We need to make sure that it's safe. Okay? So a lot of this problem is aluminum and copper oxidize at a different rate. And so what happens is if you do have an aluminum copper wire home, and I would say probably about 95% of homes today that were built with aluminum wiring have aluminum copper rings. And so they both oxidize at a different rate, and it's causing loose connections, and it's causing potential fires. What are the warning signs and the dangers that you're having issues? I always say that your house will actually talk to you. Okay? Dimming lights for no reason at all. And once you notice it one time, it just takes that one time, you'll always notice it. And it is not something that's going to fix itself. A fuse blowing or breaker stripping, right? So a lot of homeowners will say, okay, yeah, I prevent that by not plugging in my toaster and my kettle at the same time, right? That dishwasher and microwave, right? Great. So you're preventing, but you're still overloading. You still have an issue there. Okay. Outlets that are warm to the touch. These are all warning signs. These are all signs that, hey, your house is talking to you. What should I do to ensure my house is safe? This is Patricia outside. So, the best thing, to be perfectly frank, is to have a no-fee assessment. Have myself or my colleague John or my colleague Stan come over and have a look at the home. That is the absolute best thing that you can do. And then from there, we'll tell you what the next steps would be. There's no obligation whatsoever. In the meantime, so once you leave here tonight, what can you do? Okay? This is something that we see that's quite, it's rampant. Eliminate permanent use of extension cords. You're overloading your circuits.